Hello guys, welcome to Soul Market, and today we're going to be talking about the basically most hated analog horror out there. I think those of you that are familiar with analog horror already know which one I'm going to be talking about. For those of you who do not, however, I am going to be talking about Urbanspook's The Painter. The Painter has had a lot of haters in the community because of some reasons that, in my opinion, can be divided into four categories. One, its overly gruesome imagery. Two, its over-reliance on the gruesome imagery, which manages to induce more disgust than actual fear to the viewer. Three, its overall low quality. And four, the creator's overall attitude and behavior. I am going to try and argue or agree with each one of these points and show my reasons for why this analog horror is in fact not as damaging to the community as people make it out to be. Disclaimer: this video may have some unsettling imagery that might seem disturbing to some viewers. Hence, this video is not for everyone, and if you're disturbed by some of the stuff you are seeing and you seem like you can't handle it, close the video. For those who want to watch this video and want to actually understand what's happening without watching The Painter, which I in fact do not recommend, I recommend you do watch The Painter, but because it is not for everyone, if you want to watch this video and want to actually understand what's happening, here is a quick summarization of The Painter's story. The Painter is an analog horror series about an investigation on a serial killer whose signature is leaving gruesome paintings on his victims at crime scenes. The paintings get increasingly disturbing, implying that the murders are getting increasingly gruesome in each episode. We soon learn that the murderers are two. They once failed to complete a murder attempt on a woman, leaving her with no legs or arms, but still alive. They, however, found the woman again to finish the job, and that's why they were eventually caught by the police, where one of them got shot and killed, and the other got arrested. So then, let us begin. 1. Its overly gruesome imagery. Basically, the first take that many people have is that the imagery is overly gruesome and that it could have been more cryptic in the way it tells its story. This opinion has been shown by many, but it's become way more popular ever since a video came out by Definitely Bored Oranges called Why Everyone Hates Urbanspook. Now, the title is very misleading because, in the first place, not everyone hated Urbanspook to begin with. Many people were a fan of the series, and that's why it got attention in the first place. And I have to say, I almost completely disagree with this opinion. I personally think that every analog horror nowadays follows this particular format where it only gives you hints about what is happening, leaving it up to the viewer to theorize or come up with a conclusion regarding the story. Now, let me be clear. I have no issues whatsoever with this format of storytelling. I, in fact, think that it works extremely well when it is done right. However, I find that recently, too many analog horrors have adopted this way of storytelling, to the point where it's almost expected from an analog horror to be cryptic and up to interpretation. Urbanspook's The Painter breaks completely free from this trend, and straight up tells you what is happening in the world. You get a clear picture of the story and what is happening. Yes, you do not in fact need to decode some Morse code, replay the video in 2x speed, or anything like that. The series is brutally honest. Every victim of the murderers in The Painter is shown in a painting with a title that describes in detail the way each one of them died. This adds to the horror experience, as this confidence in storytelling makes you think, damn, this painter really has nothing to hide. She's not afraid of anything and nobody. She's literally flexing on us how dangerous she has become. This makes you then ask yourself, how are they this confident? Are they even human? Is there any way we can even stop them at this point? This analog horror paves the way for a more forward way of storytelling and breaks the trend of cryptic storytelling in horror. At last, Urbanspook's The Painter should not be hated for its unique approach to horror, compared to other analog horrors, but praised by it. Now you might say, yeah, but nobody likes this. That is not true. Not everyone likes this. That is true, but this also applies to everything else. Not everyone likes everything. There is nothing that everyone likes in this world. There's always going to be someone that doesn't like something that everyone else likes, or some group of people that doesn't like something or likes something that everyone else likes or dislikes. That's the way this world works. That's the freedom of expression. 2. Its over reliance on the gruesome imagery, which manages to induce more disgust than actual fear to the viewer, as many say. Basically, the second point is that people think that the images are single handedly carrying the analog horror, to the point where it doesn't need to add anything else to the visuals or the audio to make things scarier, because it has managed to already scare and disgust us with the paintings. With this one, I partially agree. Especially in the first couple of episodes of The Painter, the gruesome imagery was really the only thing the series had going for it. Hence, it was nothing in comparison to other analog horrors of its time, like the Mandela Catalog or the Walton Files, which both had much more care and effort put into them than The Painter at that time. But the last 3 episodes of The Painter have really been very promising, implementing phone calls with voice acting, animations, camera footage, etc. In conclusion, yes, the series is overly reliant on the artwork, but it has been innovating more and more recently, and I'm happy for that. Before I continue with the video, if you like what you're watching so far, do consider giving the video a like, as seeing that people like my content motivates me to produce more. I would also appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, Soul Market, and hit the notification bell to stay updated for any new videos. Now, let us continue with the video. 3. Its overall low quality. People say that the series is overall low in quality. Some of my friends have even called it the laziest analog horror series out there. I am going to disagree with this one. Even though the first few episodes were very basic, with barely any innovation, most would agree that Urbanspook's art style is very high effort and that he is an exceptional artist. Many have said so in the past. Not to mention that in the last few episodes, the quality and innovation has basically, quite literally, shot through the roof. That's basically all I have to say for this. Just go watch the last 2 episodes or the last 3 episodes of The Painter, compare them to the first few, and you'll understand what I am saying. Urbanspook has clearly been putting more and more effort to the series as it has been going on. 4. The creator's overall attitude and behavior. Some accuse again and again Urbanspook of making the Painter series only to sell t-shirts, something that Urbanspook himself has argued against a few times. This, I think, is completely and utterly false. And I think if my guy Urbanspook wanted to sell t-shirts that bad, there would have been a million more efficient ways to do so than make a whole analog horror series for it. Also, while The Painter is definitely not the highest quality analog horror series out there, I think we can all agree that there's literal trash analog horror flooding YouTube and other social media in 2025, most of which are extremely rushed, only to grab a few more views and attention while the trend is ongoing. Urbanspook the Painter has been here for at least the last 2 years, back when analog horror was not so mainstream, and there was much nicher community of people that knew about it. To add to that, Urbanspook the Painter is way higher effort than most of the analog horror series on the internet. Now, regarding his behavior and attitude, again, Urbanspook did go on Twitter calling people who do not like his series soft and making fun of his haters. That was his fault in my opinion, as it seems he did not realize at the time that his analog horror series is more on the extreme side and is not everyone's cup of tea. So, he should, in my opinion, have been a little bit more considerate, and he should also have not reacted in such a reckless manner. All in all, however, despite his meaner attitude, it is safe to say that he cares about his series and his fans. But he does sometimes lash out without thinking. So the hate for him and his series, for that reason alone, is not justified. In the end, I think that just because something is different, it doesn't mean that it is inherently bad. This especially applies to the painter by Urbanspook. Sure, it is not the scariest, nor the highest quality analog horror out there, but it is not at all deserving of the hate that it has been getting. It does the job in a unique and inspirational way. I hope that more analog horrors innovate in their storytelling like the painter did. I do hope that they do a better job at it though.